Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining my journey. We are on Thursday, which means it is reviews and day in the life. And so the way that reviews and day in the life go is that I'm gonna lead you through a coping skill. We're gonna do it together. And don't worry, these are some that I use on a regular basis and have been approved by therapists. So I know they work and I know that they are very good. So with that being said, today's coping skill, you're gonna need a pillow. I have this pillow. It's actually from my bed set. It's very nice and fluffy. If you don't have a pillow, a blanket works, something soft and fluffy. Specifically, you do not want something hard for this. Do not use anything hard because that is gonna hurt. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this pillow to muffle our voice and to also create pressure on our face as we scream into it as loud and as aggressive as we can. One other tip for those that wear glasses like yourself, well, yourself? Myself. Why do I keep saying yourself? I don't know. John. Ow. Anyways, you're probably best taking them off because they will get smudged and then you won't be able to see later, and that's not very pretty. So we're just gonna do 3 rounds of screaming into the pillow. The way that I always like to start this is by exhaling. So we're gonna exhale. Now we breathe in all the way to the top and scream. I feel better already. Who knew a good scream felt so good? All right, breathe in again. All the way to the top and scream. I like that. Also, you can do this as many rounds as you need to, but for the purpose of this video, we're just doing 3 rounds because we have so much to get through. All right, ready? I'm gonna exhale because I still have breath in me. Inhale all the way to the top. And scream. Wow, I actually feel calm. For the first time in a while. Huh. See? Screaming into a pillow. High IQ, John. Who knew that was the coping skill I needed this week? Alright, now that we're done with that coping skill for a week, it is time to get into reviews, which is the second part of our weekly Thursday video. So with that being said, I'm going to toss my pillow the other side of my room. My pillow, you're no longer needed. And today we are reviewing a band that I am quite literally obsessed with. It is so bad. I am quite literally one of their biggest fans and they know it and they love me for it. They are a band out of New Jersey. They are a pop punk band bordering on post-hardcore, if you will, borrowing influences from Pierce the Veil, Linkin Park, The Story So Far, maybe a little Asking Alexandria, honestly. They're quite diverse in their music. It's quite fun. And they're a band called RODERIK. RODERIK. Get that right. So with that being said, we're going to listen to their latest song called Let Go. It features John from TellTale, TellTale, if you're wondering, because apparently Alexa doesn't know that spelling. Alexa, the Amazon Echo. Mean you, Alexa. All right, so for this video, we're gonna listen to about the first verse and the chorus of the song so that way you can get a taste of what they sound like, and then I'll dive into my review. So here we go. Oh, and by the way, we can totally use this as a jam session if you need. Another coping skill, which you can sometimes use, is just blasting music and having a little silly, fun jam time by dancing. Because dancing is actually a very therapeutic release for trauma. Did you know that? Because I recently learned that. Woo! Here we go.
Hands keep on shaking, mind keeps on racing. I've been on the brink of letting go. I'm holding on to long nights, bright lights, thinking I got it wrong. 'Cause I can't keep faking everything's alright. I'm playing a fall guy in a sitcom life. I'm losing my patience with being complacent. I'm looking for advice just to feel alive. 'Cause I've been on the ledge for so damn long, waiting for a reason to get off. No, I don't think my mind could take no more anymore. 'Cause I've been on the way down for so long. Way down. I've been on the ledge for so damn long, waiting for a reason to get off. So I let go.
With that, oh my gosh. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm also wearing their merch. If you can tell, I really love this band. That song is Let Go, and I give that, honestly, a 9 out of 10 because I heard the song that they're planning to release in Check's Notes 2 weeks. Holy heck, how time has flown by. And I think that one is going to be the 10 out of 10. And I think that this song has little bits of like poppy metal to it with the drums. Steve really does a nice job writing a nice catchy beat to Jake's vocals. Jake is the vocalist, by the way. Steve does drums. And I really think the kind of poppy Linkin Park style instrumentation mixed with the heavy guitars, oh my gosh, I think it's perfect. I think that it's very catchy, but it has some very powerful lyrics. I'm not gonna lie. If you listen to it, like, I'm losing my patience with being complacent. Like, let's just sit with that. I just think that's so powerful. And the part that John from TellTale sings is so... the lyrics are just so powerful on my own. I'm weighed down, and having that line be repeated, that is powerful. Oh my god. I think this song is so powerful when you listen into the lyrics. And I think that the instrumentation captures the chaotic blend of chaos and energy of this song so perfectly. I love this song so much. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be so real with you. I don't know if it's autism or ADHD or both, but quite literally, it's right now, April 24th, and this is the only song I've listened to since it came out on January 20th. I think I have a problem. Hi, autism! Nice to see you around with your special interest. Okay, with that being said, now that we've gotten the review out of the way, and now that I've confessed my love and obsession and endearment for the band RODERIK, which, by the way, put on your calendar May 9th, because All of Nothing is going to be insane. I love that song so much, and it hasn't come out yet, but I got a sneak peek of it because I'm in their Discord, because they really get to know each and every fan through that messages them, whether it's on Instagram or Discord or whatever, and I love it, so they gave us a sneak peek, and I'm falling in love with it. Okay, with enough, I need to stop talking about RODERIK, because I will take this entire video. Let's go into the day in the life of John. To make this smooth, I am going to do what I call thorn, bud, rose, because I always like to end on a hopeful and positive note. And so I'm going to start with the heavy negative topics of the week, the things that I'm struggling with, the heavy things that occurred. Then we'll go into the more neutral things that just kind of occurred, I didn't pay much attention to. And then we'll end on the roses, which are the progresses that I've noticed in my recovery in some capacity. I will also note that the thorns are probably going to be the most, I guess, words, brain loading. They're going to be the most insightful or deep conversations of these thorn bud roses. Let's start with the thorns. Thorn-wise, it is the theme of this week for me is self-sabotage, because I cannot stop self-sabotaging for the life of me. And especially in regards to student council, which I'm the vice president of, I've made a bunch of uh-ohs, and they're not big uh-ohs, but I know better, and I know the expectations, and I'm just kind of flailing all over the place. And I think that's because I am so afraid of being in the spotlight, because that means that more people are going to be exposed to this awful person that I am, that I'm turning it into a self-fulfilling prophecy. And because I believe that I'm such a bad person, I'm turning it into this reality by almost like subconsciously, intentionally making all these mistakes to prove to others that I'm a bad person, even when consciously I'm trying so hard to prove to others that I'm actually not a bad person. And so thankfully our president was more than kind and reassuring and saying like, no, your energy is why I picked you. We just have to figure out how to set you up. And so that was really reassuring. I was really relieved to hear that. And that chaos made me feel all over the place. The other thorn is that I could not seem to rest and like emotionally sit with my feelings this week, like at all. And I don't know if that's because I like overbooked myself, but I tried doing some breath work yesterday night and I just couldn't even sit with it for 30 seconds. I just became like too jittery. And that was a big thing for me because I could previously do them for about 15-20 minutes. So that I need to talk to my therapist about. I need to talk to my therapist about self-sabotaging. And we need to figure out what is going on in my brain. We have been talking, honestly, a lot about how I've been like emotionally checked out and almost like dissociative from actually like feelings. And so this is going to be an interesting conversation for therapy. I'm not going to lie. So with that, ADHD moment, hello, because this past Sunday was so unfortunate and chaotic. Oh my God, let me tell you. So basically, I woke up and it was ADHD brain on like electrodes. So I went to make pasta and I got distracted after putting the water on boil. And next thing you know, the water is empty in the pot because it's all boiled out. I repeat that again where I put it on, I get distracted because ADHD got shiny thing and the water boils out. And then I decide to make something else. Anyways, thank gaze so gone, blah, blah, blah. And then I get a text from my best friend who I literally adore more than anyone in the world. She's so sweet, so kind, so patient to me. I have so much respect for her, but I get a text from her being like, hey, I'm here. What's your ETA? And I said, wait, we're meeting up? I don't have anything on the calendar. And then I go through our messages, and we were supposed to be at a comedy show together at 8 p.m. For context, the text was sent at 8:05 p.m. And I'm like, oh my God, the comedy show. And so I am laughing. She's like, dude, you literally made the plans. I'm like, I know, I literally like sent the screenshot. I booked the tickets. And I'm cracking up because at this time, I had just made dinner. I have groceries being delivered. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And so I ended up booking it to the comedy show, but I actually missed the whole thing. But we got to say hi to each other for 2 seconds. I apologize relentlessly. And so, unfortunately, my best friend didn't think the comedy show was that good, but I'm not going to say the artist that I saw out of respect, because honestly, I didn't see it, so I don't want to place judgment on something that I didn't specifically experience. I am just putting my best friend's experience out there to kind of reassure myself in the sense that, like, I was not this terrible person. Because remember, like I said, I have that core belief because of all this dynamics that you'll hear more about in my narrative timelines. But with that being said, time to move on to the buds. Buds this week, let's see. I have definitely been caught up on emails. I've been caught up on assignments. I just submitted one of my personal reflections, so that'll be interesting to see how the professor likes that. I am consistent with going to all my doctor's appointments. I just put that as a bud because it's just kind of there. It's just a consistency. I spoke to my mom. She is dealing with some health issues, so I'm just being there for her. I don't know. I'm not good with placing neutrals in life. That's actually something I need to work on, is stop placing judgment on things. Not everything is good or bad. Some things just are. And I need to figure out how to label things as just is. Water is water. Trying to think of neutral things. I'm filming this at night because my schedule is very busy this week. Neutrals, check. Okay. Positives, which are roses. Let's see here. I made a lot of progress in physical therapy. There's this test that I can never remember the technical term that they call it, but it's basically what I call it the drunk test as a joke, because what it is you have to stand with your feet in front of each other for context like this, and you have to hold it for 30 seconds. And I noticed for the first time when I did it this week that my body wasn't super shaky to where I was quite literally about to fall over. So it was actually a lot more sturdy than I expected, which I was very happy and surprised about. I was like, oh my God, I have balance again. So that was nice. I also noticed that we increased a lot of the intensity of my exercises, which I was very happy to see. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually making progress. Things are like actually moving forward. Wow, shocking. Oh, and I also got an egg chair. Oh my gosh, I am so happy, y'all. I have an egg chair. I don't know how to describe it, but for those that don't know, it's kind of like this wired-y cushioned chair that has the shape of an egg, and sometimes it hangs, but mine is just kind of positioned on the ground in a way, and it is the most amazing thing ever. I'm not gonna lie, putting it together was a whole experience and a half, and just carrying it up to my apartment from the mailroom, oh my God, that was a whole experience, because it said on the package, it was like a huge box that was essentially the height and width of me, and it said it was a 2 or 3 person. I brought it on a dolly that security apparently had for us to borrow, which I think is super cool, and was bringing it on the dolly, and it was so chaotic because at one point I had to get it up these stairs and I just had to like and it was so, but I'm just glad it's made. It's on my balcony now. It's so nice. I'm very much enjoying that. And I realized that I actually made a really positive experience at like this part of a restaurant that I've only gone to a handful of times, and the bartenders really like me. It's not like I drink there. I mostly just study and do my readings, get a milkshake. But apparently everyone really likes me there, which I was shocked about. And I'm like, how am I this memorable? And one of the bartenders just goes, good impressions. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I mostly sit at the bar just so that way I don't have to sit around a screaming kid and my autism go, hey, get out now. Because honestly, I love kids, but when they scream, my autism hates that. And so I need to find ways to cope so I can be a positive representative of myself. And so sometimes that means sitting in more adult spaces. And so that's what I do. And somehow the bartenders and the managers seemed to really like my presence and hadn't remembered me from literally the only other time I've been there. So I thought that was really wholesome and sweet, and that really made my day. Other positive things are I might or might not have a date in the next coming weeks. That'll be more to tell. I will keep you posted, but it's not confirmed yet, but I am talking to someone. And honestly, we seem to have a really good vibe with each other, and he's like super communicative, and he has like all these green flags, and I'm like, where have you been my whole life? So I am very happy about that. I'm very happy about that. Yeah. But overall, honestly, I would say it was mostly a positive week for the most part. And yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up here. Well, thank you so much for joining me in my first reviews and the day in the week. Or day in the week? It's day in the life, John. It's day in the life. It's day in the life, John. It's day in the life. It's day in the life, John. Thank you so much for joining me in reviews and day in the life. I hope this was helpful or resonated with you. Like I always say, but I always mean it with all my genuineness. Thank you so much for existing. I really do genuinely mean that. And please know that the world is genuinely so much better because you are in it.